Ladies and gentlemen, the hour right now is 6 minutes past the hour of 16, and you are listening to the groove on 945 Matches Both Me. I think your favorite at this point, Old Rass, the chocolate puppy, the sweetest voice in the radio, here to soothe you and keep you company all the way to the hour of 18. Now, I did mention that at the hour of 16, we're going to be joined by a special guest in the studio, and the song you just heard is titled Nilila. You've heard me play that one a couple of times, and yes, the voice behind that song is joining us right now. Psyche, how are you doing?
Thank you very much for having me. I'm doing great, thanks.
You good?
Yeah, I am. I'm just nervous.
Why are you nervous? People are just hearing your voice, don't worry.
Yeah.
So, Nilila, let's start off from there. When's what did
I wasn't necessarily crying,
Yeah.
but the song didn't even really have like any personal inspiration for me. So Nilila came about as a creative idea, or rather a creative collaboration between me and Uncle Tiki.
Yeah.
So Uncle Tiki and I, 2022, we had like a very let's try to be creative together, and I sent him some harmony stems, and that's the ghosting we hear at the beginning of the song. And he said, "Oh hey, let's make a beat out of this. I love this." And he made the beat, and we just loved it. And eventually, I didn't write anything on it until like a whole year later, and had it recorded only last year from 2022. So it took like 2 years to create because I had no idea what to write about it. And weirdly, I wasn't even going through a heartbreak. I just thought it vibed well with the song. But then I'm glad there's people that relate to it, and yeah.
I've always told you this. I think Nidla is my favorite song done by you. For some reason, I think the melodies, the instrumentation, the way the whole song really just came together. It took much. I think favorite song.
Yeah.
You've been busy the past couple of months. I think I think it's fair to say since mid last year.
Yeah.
How has that been for you? Hasn't that been exhausting? Because I think you've been dropping songs almost every single month or so.
Yeah,
for the past for the past year and a half, maybe. How's that been working out for you?
Luckily for me, I did have a break, I guess, but it's been exhausting. I won't lie. Being creative and making music is nothing that's easy to do, but it's something I love to do because then I take it as my music is something that I think is relatable because it's something personal. Most of my songs are very personal. So having gone through a bunch of stuff between last year and now, at least it's been like a very good outlet. Yeah, so it's been like that.
Here on the Groove, we are big on well-being. That is emotional, mental, and physical well-being. And I think from what you put out on your socials, it's fair to say we believe you've had your fair share of emotional distress and things like that. How have you coped with that, being an artist, sort of being in the limelight sometimes, being dragged for maybe the wrong reasons? How have you managed to deal with things like that and also look out for your well-being?
So, first of all, anything I do, before anything I do, and before I take part in anything, be it creative, personal, I pray. So, I thank God for keeping me alive and safe. It hasn't been easy per se, being an artist, and then also trying to figure out yourself as a person. It's a bit of a roller coaster, but I always pray, and then thankfully for me, I have a support system. Not many people in it, but they keep me going, as well as my cats.
Oh yeah, you're a cat person.
Yes, I'm a cat mom, so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um. Some. I think your one of your most recent releases, you had first some sort of backlash, a lot of backlash actually.
Yeah.
With people calling you all sorts of names and well, it sort of gave you some sort of bad publicity. how did that mess with you, and how did you deal with that really just internally as a human being first of all, and as an artist as well? Because someone out there might be listening and they might be going through something similar to what you had experienced on your last release. So how did you deal with that, and what advice would you give to a person that maybe is being, what word can I use? Someone that's being ambushed to some extent, maybe by being bullied on social media. I think the best word we can use is being bullied on social media, because cyberbullying and whatnot. Yeah, like, how did you deal with that as an artist? How do you deal with that as an artist and as a person as well? Is there, do you draw a line between where you as, can I say a government name?
Yes, you can.
Do you draw the line on where Raquel ends and where Psyche starts from, or is it one person? And when you're dealing with things like cyberbullying and let's say, for lack of a better word, depression and backlash from the public, how do you deal with that?
Well, actually, thank you for pointing it out that my stage persona and me as myself are two different people. We actually are. So when Bye was released, Psyche was Psyche. She just said, "Ugh," and moved on. But as Raquel, because I'm the one creating the art, I'm the one who's writing the music, and honestly, I didn't really have it like good. In the beginning, I remember telling a friend I wanted to just pull the music down, I wanted to just give up and stop. But then I thought about it. I still have like 10 monthly listeners who listen. So for them, I said, nah, I have to keep it going. And also, I feel when you take your inspiration from very like from great artists, you discover that they too had like their roadblocks. And not to say it made me relaxed and say, okay, they also went through something like this, so I should just relax. No, it made me want to evolve myself even more. And that's why I feel my next release after that, which is my most recent, Mojito, actually did way better. Because then I learned from my mistakes. I went back to the drawing board, and as much as it was good, like experimenting with a new sound for Bai, I've never done anything purely Afropop. At least now I know it's not for me. It's for me maybe, but not now. I'll stick to my Afro synth sound, and yeah, growth has happened actually. So yeah.
All right, that's interesting to hear. At some point, your dog was more famous than you.
I mean,
at some point, your dog was more famous than you, more known than you. How did that come about? How did that come into play?
I like how people mostly remember Hunter. That was his name. Honestly, I was just trying to make content like any artist for my music, because nowadays for you to make music, you're not just an artist. With how social media has become, you have to be a content creator as well, and you also have to market your music on your own. You can't just So, well, when Hunter became more famous than me, it was a plus for me. But it just showed like, okay, I can be creative in that light, and it made me want to discover more ways of actually expressing myself and being creative. And Psyche, yeah.
Nice. I think from the disappointment now, I've been a little distracted because Zambia has just conceded. For those of you that that might not be watching the game and they're listening to this right now, Zambia has just conceded. In the game is in the second half right now. Almost. Boy, this is disappointing. Wow. Anyways, back to we're emotional about sports, and we had high hopes. We're hoping that we could. I think that we can potentially turn it around. Anyway, back to Psyche. A lot of people don't know this, but you are a multifaceted creative.
Yes.
You are, let's say, acting, voice acting. You've done writing, production. How did you discover that you could do all that, and what was the journey like?
This is the first time I've actually been
Because I'm
asked.
pretty sure a lot of people have heard your voice on radio, but not on a song, or heard your voice on TV, but like behind an advert, behind a certain product that you were a part of, and things like that. How did that? How did that come about? How did you discover you could? I so hate this sort of generic question, but how did you discover you could be a jack of all trades?
Ah, honestly, I won't lie. Growing up, I was very introverted and I wasn't saying much. I wasn't speaking much even in school, but I had a very creative mind. So sometimes I'll just be doing something and then it's happening. Like how I discovered I could sing.
Mhm.
I was just playing around one day. I was a trainee in dancing and my musical dad heard me sing and he was like, "Why don't you sing? Why do you rap and dance?" And I said, because I used to be a rapper at first. And I was just like, "Oh, I think singing is girly." And then he looks at me and he goes like, "No, you're sleeping on money." And my dad also heard me sing a Whitney Houston song. And I was like 8 by then or 9. And I sang that song everywhere. Not really because I knew what it meant. I just liked how the melody went. And he looked at me and he said, "Yeah, you're learning how to sing." And as I got more training, I discovered I could imitate people, imitate animals, and that's where me learning how to do voiceovers also started. And also, if you grow up watching a lot of cartoons and you have cousins like mine, and even my friends who I had in school who were like big nerds, we would always be imitating people, and people found us cringe actually. But then from there, I think for me, it became like a serious thing. And I'll be caught in for doing different things. Like, oh, we need a chicken for an ad. Come and just and then next thing you know, you're there like
Yeah.
doing voiceovers. And I guess from that talent and also even from like the acting and everything and actually learning how to act, being taught how to act, going to NASA's lessons and lessons, and eventually learning music production. Here I am. So it was more practice and learning and just trying. Like, can I really do that? And then you find that you can do it. You're like, oh, so how can I improve in it? Yeah.
So if you don't mind sharing, what are some of who are actually some of the artists you've worked with in regards to writing and even production? Any songs that we might know of, any artists that we know of that you've worked with in regards to production and writing as well?
So I've worked with, aside from Psyche, the group, because Psyche used to be a group. I think anyone that has
Yeah,
been.
we are going to get into that.
So I've worked with Psyche, the group. I've worked with Old Rass, and I composed the song Shakira. You guys should hear it. Uh, I've also worked with though I don't know if I'm allowed to say most of them because they're not out, but I can say bluntly I've worked with Misfit. I've worked with Manisa Chipenzi for ads. I've worked with several artists honestly, and I guess I would have to sit down and like go behind.
At this point, if you could just pick one part of the industry that you could stick to, what would it be? Would you stick to just singing? Would you stick to writing? Would you stick to composition as in production and whatnot? Or would you stick to maybe acting and voice over acting? What if you were to pick on one thing right now that you could focus on for the rest of your career and drop the others, which one would it be?
Definitely not acting. I wouldn't go for acting because that's such a that's a complex thing. I would stick to composing. I think composing and writing is where my strengths lie.
Mhm.
I mean, I am a trained vocalist, but I find it hard sometimes as Raquel to hear myself sing. But as Psyche, because she's sassy, she's a bit of a diva, so she likes that. But as Raquel, I don't think I would. If I was given a chance, I'd probably stick to composition and writing. Mm-hmm.
You've it is a quick fire now. You've you've rebranded quite a couple of times over the past. I think it's fair to say the past 3 years.
Yeah.
You've gone from being part of a girl group to going solo to unofficially being part of another girl group to going back solo. You've changed names a couple of times. Why? How? Walk us through you moving from being solo to being part of a girl group to going back to being solo to going back into the girl group, and then here you are solo again.
I won't lie. I think I was built for a girl group because I trained to be in a girl group. But having been in several groups, I think I just grew tired of being part of something and it not like progressing. Shout out to all the former members I've had, girl group, chord group, music group. I just feel like also personally I do love rebirths. I love to reinvent myself and I love to show a new side to myself. Seeing as I'm not the most expressive person in real life, music and creativity are my outlets. So I mean, especially in the last 3 years, yes, you're right. I've been unofficially part of one girl group. Psyche was a girl group. On that one, I can explain. It wasn't my wanting to stick to Psyche. It's because I was the only member left. So I just said, hey, if I keep changing my name, it might confuse people until I unofficially joined the Vows where I had to be Psyche Vow because if you remember how the Vows as a group was before they officially disbanded and officially closed after the quick rebrand happened, which I was part of. I had to take up Psyche Vow because you needed to have like a vow at the end of your name. So I mean, it's been a crazy ride, but I won't lie. All those experiences have led to where I am today. I just take them as part of the journey, in as much as they may be confusing for new fans and new people who know me by like different names. Like I still have people calling me Raven from back in the day. I still have people calling me by my producer name, which is King Kira. And others just call me Raquel by my name. But hey, just be comfortable. I'll still answer all of them.
All right. As we're going towards the end of this interview, what are what are some of the things that we can expect to see from you going forward?
Going forward, I'm already working on a new rebrand. I'm not changing my name. I'm not changing my name. I'm just changing up the brand a bit because I feel like I guess I've gotten more confident in my second year. This is now my third year officially as being Psyche. So I want to change things around, talk about more serious topics. I feel like as a singer, we can always sing about love and heartbreak. There are real issues out there.
Tell that to Adele and Taylor Swift.
Wow. But yeah, we can always sing about heartbreak, and in as much as those are some of the things I've gotten to experience in the last 3 years, I'd rather talk about relatable stuff. They're more serious issues, and I feel people will honestly appreciate that side of me more, that more outspoken side of me more. Even if the hair color will be a bit disrespectful, yes, there's a new hair color coming. That I'll say.
Oh my.
Most things are going to go, but I do hope the music resonates with people who have been through what I will sing about because it's also something I've been through. So yeah. Otherwise, they're gonna love it. We'll start slow, we'll start easy, then phase into it.
Okay. Right now, let's get into your latest release, which is called Mojito. Want to tell us a little bit about that song?
Mojito. Mojito was a creative collaboration between me and Grey J. So Grey J is the producer I've worked with the most. I actually refer to him as my work husband because I think I've collaborated with him more than I've collaborated with any other person. And he produces 95% of my work. So Mojito came about as he sent me a beat. In fact, he sent me a beat like we were recording as usual in studio. Then he tells me, "Oh, hey, I have a beat for you. It's on my piano." And I'm like, "Oh, hey, let me hear it." And then I heard it. I loved it. Initially, it wasn't supposed to be for us. It was supposed to be for a duo called The Gang. But then they didn't really reach out back to us. So I just said, "Hey, let's do it together." And he loved the idea. And the song is initially inspired by a certain beautiful man. Wow. And alcohol. So I just took it as, hey, I love mojitos and I love this man. let's
No,
mix
we're
it
using
together.
love, eh? Okay.
Yes, we're using
Must be nice.
And that's how Mojito was born. And I really like that song. It's very interesting. It was unlike anything I've ever worked on before. I mean, I've done amapiano. It's one of my genres as an artist.
Yeah.
So trying something that was a bit more groovy, a bit more easy, no dynamics was a great experience.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let us get into a song called Mojito by Psyche, and then on the other side, we'll get to Let Her Go. So don't touch the dial. You're locked into 945 Metro Sports, and this is the groove with your favorite, Old Rass Chocolate Puppy. Yeah. Playing for you in the background right there, that is music of Psyche, and that one is called Mojito. So, Psyche, before I let you go, any last words?
Any last words? I'll just tell everyone to keep making art. Don't be like me. And just keep doing what you're doing. Keep smiling. Take everything with a grain of salt. Be happy. Be sad. Feel everything. And yeah, be take life as life is. That's all I can say.
Don't take life too seriously.
Yeah, don't take it too seriously. We only live once. You end up, yeah. So just be happy and take care of yourself. Drink your water and stay hydrated. It's very hot outside.
Where can people find you?
My music is actually everywhere. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on YouTube, and if not all streaming platforms, my music is live there. And you can also follow me on Facebook. I have 2 pages: the Psyche ZM and the Psyche. Yes, and I'll be coming back with new music soon and another surprise. So just stay glued to the page.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Psyche. It was fun to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, hope to see you soon.
Definitely.
No, this time you won't be this nervous.
No, I won't be.
Next time you won't be this nervous, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, still playing for you in the background is music of Psyche. We'll let that play out. Enjoy.